Well, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am well. I am well. Just settling in. You're not across the street, are you?
No. Stayed at the house this morning.
Good for you. It's really slippery.
It looks like it.
Melting in the, yeah. I stepped on my
Get the dog inside.
Yeah.
Oops.
Hey, Victor, I have a question for you.
Morning.
Okay.
Yes,
Victor,
yes, but
question
yep,
for you.
yes,
I was just going to ask you, I know we're not doing anything in person right now, but of course I have our calendar, the chamber calendar set for next year. Should I
right.
go ahead and send that over though and request those dates and times just to have a calendar in person right now? But of course I have our calendar, the chamber calendar set for next year. Should I
Right.
go ahead and send that over though and request those dates and times just to have there?
Sorry, there's some background feed. Yes, you can send those over to Kathy,
Perfect. Thank you.
Kathy Sedison, not
Yeah.
Kathy Brighton.
No, I know which Kathy. Thank you.
I know you do. I just saw Kathy up there.
Yeah, thank you though. I appreciated it. When I saw your name, it made me realize I have all these dates on a calendar that I probably should make sure you guys know too.
No, stay inside, please. No, come here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
And Margot. Margot, do you
hear
want me
me?
to let you? Yes. Margot, can you hear us?
I can. I just wanted to make sure because sometimes I have crazy audio.
Do you want to control the PDF or share screen? Because you can share your screen, or I can just go on my screen. It's up to you.
You can just do it, Victor. I don't have. I mean, as long as you give me access, if I need to share something, I'm okay
Yep.
with
You got that. Hello, the fill-in for Nikki. Oh, that's Justin.
What's that?
I was just talking to Justin. He was filling in for Nikki for a second.
Oh, okay.
Same thing happened at Mulder's house this morning too, running a little late.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Morning.
Nikki.
Morning.
Everybody have a good holiday?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was nice.
January 6th was a wonderful holiday.
And
That's a
Merry
crazy-
Christmas
crazy-
today, Victor.
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Victor.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Crazy day at the Capitol yesterday.
Bad day.
Bad day.
Okay, do we know? I see a few more chiming in, looking at quorum.
Like-
Kathy, Dana, looks like we have 5.
We have 5 at the moment.
I'm here.
I don't see.
Matt,
Morning, Matt.
Good
Looks like we
morning.
have-
Happy New Year.
And do you?
Six.
Looks like Amy is still trying to connect to audio.
Yeah.
Josh Baker.
Josh Baker by, hi Josh.
Hi. How's it going?
Good, how you doing?
hey, Jody.
Hello, kids.
And Jody?
Jody.
Jody. Yes, Margot, it's cold in my house.
Oh, you with the hat again.
You're just so hip, I guess.
I know you all want to be like me. Just stop.
Are we close enough to go? I think we are.
We have enough to go. I don't see Tim. Looks like and Brian, but otherwise I think we're good.
Let's start rolling through. They can chime in when they get here.
All right.
So welcome everyone to the first meeting of January. I have to admit today, waking up, being able to gather with all of you and do something good for the community after yesterday is a great way to start the year. So thank you for
Yes.
being a part of us. Would you like to do roll call for us, Margaret?
I will. Kathy Breitner,
Here.
Matt Bugera,
Here.
Tim Knapp, Josh Baker. I thought Jody Eubank,
Here.
Nikki Law,
Here.
Dana Mulder,
Here.
Brian Bedini, Amy Gillard.
Here.
Got your sound working. And Keely Knapp. Keely may not be able to join us because of the time. I know she has class, and that's because she had emailed me about that. Okay. Let's see who else is here. Looks like Victor, John Leo, Kyle, and Bonnie. Anyone else, Victor? That
Nope, just Josh on the phone. No one on YouTube.
Where's Amy? How come I can't see her?
Oh, because I'm not ready to be seen. I'm working on my coffee. I'll be there shortly, but yeah, the coffee, I'm working, yeah, I keep bobbing in and out of the frame.
You just put a hat on like me.
So, no, it's not that, no, it's just, I'm fine, I'm acceptable, I'm ready.
Oh,
Okay, let's move into the approval of the minutes from our December 3rd meeting. Does anyone have any corrections or comments on those minutes?
I have read them. I make a motion. We approve them.
Support, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm,
The minutes have been approved. That ends our minutes for the year 2020. Public comment. Is there anyone on board, any of the media would like to make a comment or ask a question of us?
Kathy, may I just make a quick announcement and let all you know, because it does fit in with the DDA. On Saturday, February 13th at Pearson's, we will be doing a drawing for a blue chair. We announced it in today's newsletter. Pearson's seemed good with that day. I like the fact that it's also the same weekend as Ice Fest. So the sculptures will be out. The game plan is if things are not open or, depending on how things are, we will sort of roll with however any of our requirements are at that time. But we could at least be outside on the patio and the sidewalk on either side of the building. So that is something that the chamber will be doing that weekend.
Good. Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Margot, COVID-19 updates and issues?
The only update I have right now is that City Hall is still closed to the public. And I don't know, Victor, when that might be changing, if it will be changing anytime soon.
We're waiting on the health department's orders again because they essentially have still required remote work where possible. So, and banned public gatherings, indoor gatherings, I should say. So we're going to wait for the orders. I think she'll maybe have some revised orders next week from her speech yesterday. She wants to see, I guess, how this weekend goes and where the numbers are. And once that happens, hopefully we can get back to full on open. I mean, we're still open for public to call, make appointments, drop off bills and stuff like that, but we just have our doors locked. So it's to be determined.
Okay. Thank you, Victor.
That's pretty much the same with the restaurants and all of that. I think from what we're hearing, they should open on January 16th, but that may change. All right.
Okay, next item are board appointments, board positions, committee assignments.
Yes. So everybody agreed to come back onto the board whose term was up, and that was Tim Knapp, Nikki Law, and Josh Baker. All three agreed to remain on the board for another 3 years, and Matt reappointed them to the board. Currently, our board chairperson is Kathy Breitner, and our vice chair is Tim Knapp. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody that wanted to stay in their current positions.
Don't we, by our bylaws, appoint everyone at this meeting, the January meeting?
Yes.
So we need to have either one or the entire slate presented.
Well, at this point, we really only have the president, the chair, and the vice chair, and then
because the other two rolled.
Because the other two we rolled into city staff.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did not hear from anyone else that they were wanting to take on a new position, and I also didn't hear that anybody didn't want to have the position that they had. So
Can we vote with Tim not here, though? Tim, guess what? You're on again for another year.
He did not, I will say he did not tell me he did not want to be vice chair any longer when I sent out a message asking.
So he had his chance.
He did.
He did. So I don't know in the past.
I'm willing to stay on for 1 year. My term does expire next January.
Good.
Great.
Perfect.
That'd be great, Kathy. Appreciate your leadership.
Thank you. It's fun to work with all of you. And let's just add Tim in behind me because he wasn't here.
Great. Okay. The next one is committee assignments.
Do we need to vote on that, Margot?
I don't think we need to vote, do we, Victor? Or do we?
We should vote. We should take a vote on it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
I move that we accept the slate as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
That moves us on to committee assignments. Right now, we have 3 committees: the Downtown Enhancement Committee, the Promotions Committee, and the Finance Committee. Currently on the Downtown Enhancement Committee is Kathy Breitner, Tim Knapp, Dana Mulder, and who am I missing?
Josh Baker.
Josh Baker, thank you. I'm sorry. Yes, and then John Leo also serves on that committee. A promotions committee is Amy Gillard, Nikki Law, Jody Eubank, and Brian Bedini. So that covers both those. And then the finance committee is currently made up of Tim Knapp, Jody Eubank, myself, and Nick Whitaker.
And Kathy? No?
Not on the finance committee.
Would it behoove us to have our chairperson on the finance committee?
Yeah, I've sat in on them occasionally. I don't have to be, we just have to watch quorum on this.
So if everyone is happy with their current committee assignments, then we can make a motion. If not, we can discuss this.
I'm happy.
I make a motion, we leave the committee assignments as presented.
I'll second that.
Support.
All right. Okay.
Do we need an all in favor on that?
Yeah, I didn't hear.
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm working on the next thing already. Okay.
Okay. So we need to set our schedule. I don't know. Victor, do you want me to? I can share now.
I got it.
Oh, you got it. You got it. Perfect. Great.
Yep.
Okay. Currently, we meet the first Thursday of every month at 8 a.m. So I just picked these dates based on that. I was not part of the original setting of those times. I know, so I don't know what. Obviously, I know everybody needs to get to their businesses. From my standpoint, it would be really better for me to meet at 8:30, but that's because I'm probably the only person that has somebody that has to get off to school, and I'm the only one that does that in my home. But if not, I can adjust to that too. So this schedule is based on those dates and that time. But I don't know what works for everybody else.
Couple of comments. Will there be a spring break this year? Is anyone going anywhere?
Don't know yet.
And is the school still is it still scheduled for a spring break? Because I know some schools have altered that. And I know colleges have.
It is still scheduled.
Okay.
And council did cancel their first April meeting. City council did first for that date, that week.
And what does that mean, Margot, where it says the March 4th meeting cancel?
Oh, that got squished up on that one. It didn't, that's supposed to be the next line down.
Okay.
Sorry.
Would that be the time when we'd be needing to make a decision or getting prepared for a council presentation on tree grades, or would we want to just reschedule rather than cancel?
I think we might need to reschedule, but I think you're right, Dana. We should be close on timing about then. Perhaps that's dealt with in March, but let's just leave it off the schedule. I'm fine with that. And if we need to, we can reschedule around spring break.
So leave April 1st on and then change it if we need to?
Let's just take it off at the moment. We traditionally do not meet in April.
Okay.
Okay.
July 1st, I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Which one?
July 1st, Josh.
So I'm gonna be out on that, I can tell you right now.
Josh said he'll be
Okay.
out on one. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know what that looked like for the business owners.
Let me ask you a question. Are we going to continue Zoom meetings?
Well, I can say I think by spring, I mean, maybe even sooner, they'll allow in-person meetings, maybe even in winter time, whether or not the DDA wants to still do some sort of hybrid Zoom and in person. That's, I think I think the city so far, we've put an ordinance at the council level or a resolution, I should say, that for 2021, essentially, that we can still meet by Zoom. We should still strive to allow meetings by Zoom, but it all will be dictated by state law, because the Open Meetings Act will, regulate whether or not we're allowed to vote by Zoom. So, yeah, so that's kind of in the air, I guess, Jody.
Oh,
That's not our decision, Jody.
okay. If we can vote via Zoom, we could help Margot out and move these to 8:30 too. Just sometimes I have to be to work at 9 to accept deliveries during the as we get busier and
Well,
actually are open.
We could also speak about, if it's just a school-related issue, just doing the meetings at 8:30 in the winter and then keep it at 8 in the summer. 8 would be much better for me in the summer, just because I'm already blocking off some time. I usually start my day at 7 a.m. starting in season. So it would be beneficial to not lose an extra amount of time during the season, but in the winter, it's quite a bit more flexible in the off season.
That would work.
Margaret, we do start losing people somewhere a little after 9 during the busy season.
Because July,
So that-
I'm with,
that makes perfect
July,
sense.
I'm with,
Yep.
yeah, in July, I'm with Josh. I won't be able to make that one, the July 1st meeting, because it's too close to the 4th of July. We're too busy.
Do we want to move that to the week before? Same thought is that time of year could be maybe when we're trying to deal with, how to increase, outside dining opportunities and all that kind of thing. Because I think this summer will be not that dissimilar from 2020.
Well, and I think that's something that for sure, we should probably, if that's definitely a concern, we should probably start talking about that at our May 6th meeting versus our July meeting, because we'll want to be ready for it in July and not talking about it in July.
That's a good point.
Could everybody do 7:30 in the summertime?
I could do that.
Yeah, I can too.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah, I can do that, Josh.
Great.
Great.
Does that help you, Margot?
That does help me, just because in the school year, I do not have any other people here with me. So, but I can adjust. I mean, I can work things out too. But yeah, that would definitely help me.
So can we get a summer recap, Margot or Kathy, perhaps, of what dates will be?
Summer is.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's 7:30 versus 8:30. Just so, because we need to put this on our website for the whole year, the schedule. So
Also, we need to decide if we're doing a July date. Are we choosing to cancel or move that to the following week, or cancel it altogether?
I won't be able to attend July 1st.
I would say that we should just cancel our July meeting.
Okay.
Actually, I mean, unless it's 7:30, I could do 7:30.
Well, Josh and Nikki both said they're out. And so I don't want to
At the
risk us
moment,
not
let's-
having a quorum.
Let's cancel it at the moment, and then if we need to, as we hit the June meeting, we can reschedule to either later in June or after in July. And then
Even the second week of July would be,
better.
yeah.
Mhm.
We only have 2 meetings where there are not school. and that's going to be July and August. So we've just canceled one of them.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if there's anything in the bylaws about, canceling 2 out of 12 meetings.
There's not.
There's not.
I think we'll find a need to have one, but we'll get there in June.
So Josh, I don't know if you heard that. Josh Baker said that he would suggest canceling July and moving August to 7:30.
Okay.
That works for me. Thank you all very much. That is a very big help on my end.
So everything else is 8:30.
Yes.
Except for August.
September, do we want to do the 2nd, which is what we would be slated at, or the 9th due to Labor Day?
What day is Labor Day on this year?
Late.
It would be
Monday.
Good.
I think the 6th, I believe.
It's the 6th.
Are you, Amy, are you smack dab into
Festival?
Festival of the Books on the 2nd?
I sure hope so, but it doesn't make any difference. I'm completely flexible.
I'm good with that meeting on the first Thursday.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great.
So the 2nd?
Yes.
Yes.
That works. Margot, should we talk about attendance while we're on the meeting schedule as well?
Yes. I think that is a very good idea.
So I did a chart for the calendar year of 2020 to show that we as board members are complying to the piece in our bylaws and all city bylaws as far as attendance, which says if any of us miss 3 in a row or 4 in a 12-month period or 1/3. And we had a couple people on the edge. So I can share that with anyone that wants to see it. I've already charted it in for today. But we do need to watch that for many purposes. The board member who's missing is missing out on a lot of opportunity. We're missing having that person with us, and we do need to comply with our bylaws. So just be aware we're watching, as we should be.
Do you want to show us the chart?
Do you have access to it, Margot?
I do.
It's on, I just updated it on the Google Drive.
Let me move you over. Victor, can you unshare?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so you can see 2020 chart.
I just put today's in already. So again, it's 3, if it's 3 by the wording in the bylaws of the city, 3 in a row or 4 and 12. Victor, I don't know what 4 and 12 is going to mean. I think it says 4 in a, I need to check this. But if we're pulling out April, does that mean 4 and 12 actual meetings? 4 and 12 in a row?
I mean, my interpretation of that is 4 in a calendar year.
Okay, well, calendar year or 12-month period. Is it calendar? It does not say calendar.
Well, the reason I would say interpret it as a calendar year is The reason I would do that is because our terms are based, we've aligned them with calendar years, so you serve on
Okay.
a term. That's why I would do it. You don't start usually in April or May. So that's why I would interpret it that way. But since we're all starting now, we've kind of aligned everything to start in January for all the boards. That I think that would be the fairest interpretation. Because either way, I mean,
Okay.
but
That could still allow someone to miss 3 in a row or 4
Right.
and 12 if we do that.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. I'll start a new, down below Margot, I'll add a new sheet for 21.
Great.
Okay, so just so you
So
know,
we're-
we need to pay attention to this.
So we're going from 12-3 through 12-19.
No, I just put it because I didn't know the answer to the question Victor just gave us, so I'm gonna delete that column. So it's the 12, if we're, all commissions are following the 12 months in a calendar year, we're going through January through December.
Kathy, what are the implications if this happens?
Well, we're supposed to ask council to remove the missing member. And then Matt would appoint someone new.
Say, I'm gonna quit showing up at these meetings if they don't move a little bit faster. I wouldn't worry about this attendance thing. I mean, if you are a stickler about it, you're not gonna have anyone on your board. I mean, we're here to do some work. Let's move on through the agenda and quit screwing around with this. I mean, if you want to throw me off, throw me off. I'm good with that.
I'm more concerned about quorum.
Let's move on and get some work done, okay?
My concern is we've had several meetings where we're tight on quorum. So we need to make sure people are there.
It happens to all the boards and committees.
I know.
On 4 or 5 boards, and sometimes we don't have a quorum. I mean, shit happens.
It does.
Let's move on. Let's not worry about the attendance policy, and let's get on and take care of the rest of the agenda. I got someplace to be at 9 o'clock, 9:15.
Well, then you make a commitment to be someplace, Matt.
These meetings shouldn't take 3 hours or 2 hours. You guys dick around. I mean, really, 15, 20 minutes to change the schedule, 15, 20 minutes to do this. Let's go.
That's so pleasant. That's so pleasant of you, Matthew.
Whatever, Jody. Be quiet and let's keep moving.
I get it. We are keeping track as we should, and as all should in my mind. Let's move forward into the Ice Fest, which is, by the way, next month.
Oh, it looks like Tim has joined us or is in the process of it now.
Okay.
So,
All right. Let's update us on where we are with Ice Fest, Margot.
okay. So on Ice Fest right now, we're doing really well. We have 39 pre-carved sculpture commitments.
That's fantastic.
Wonderful.
We have one commitment for the Premier Ice Throne sponsorship, a $200 sponsorship, and a $1,000 Petoskey Area Visitors Bureau sponsorship. We have a few people that have committed that we don't have contracts for, so the city has not been able to invoice them. But I'm kind of trying to reach out to those people and get those squared away, and most are responding. So we're really right on track with that. And I mean, well, we actually at our last meeting said that we were hoping to have 20. Our goal was 20 small sculptures for this, given the off year that it is. So the fact that we're at 39 is really great.
Wonderful.
What would the bottom line be at 39 if everybody paid and our expenses?
Okay, let me find the budget. I have the budget at 38. Let me share that. Hold on, where did you guys go?
If it's okay with the mayor.
So I have not updated this because I just got one more yesterday and in the process while I was traveling. So I have not updated it right now. We have our budget set for 38. Oops, somebody needs to mute. And that was leaving us, wait, why am I not moving? With a net of 7,145. Now we have one more sponsorship that I just got from Birchwood. And so that adds another $175 to that bottom line.
Nice. It'll give us a nice start for next year to make it bigger like we had spoke about. So great job.
And what a great gift to the community that we can do this.
Yeah.
In the
Really, really good work.
in the expenses, we're going to have to put, I don't have the exact figure. It's about $225 for the Crooked River Lodge because it is that
Okay.
weekend.
Okay.
How much did you say, Jody?
I'd put 250.
Okay.
It's real close to there.
And then I'll add the other amount. We are not finalized as far, I mean, I say we have 39 commitments, but there are a handful that I don't feel we've counted, but I mean, no more than 5. So our numbers are still very high.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I have not received actual contracts back from.
One comment that I have and discussed briefly with Margot is that we had mentioned having the bases remain and that they be picked up at a later date by Rock on Ice. I've got a bit of a concern about that for a couple of reasons. We're going to have to pick those up at some point and store them someplace and account for every one of them to have them ready when Rock on Ice returns. And on one side of the street, they hold a lot longer than the other. So we could have beautiful sculptures on boxes on one side and empty boxes on the other. I did not have a problem last year once the boxes removed. I thought they were just gorgeous on the sidewalk, but that's my take.
I agree with you completely, Kathy. I think that we should let Rock on Ice do its thing and take the bases when they typically would. Especially if we have some sunny days like we did last year and the ice sculptures kind of dismantle themselves in an explosive way, it'll be a little bit easier. And I don't want to have to get to the point where any of us are trying to like get a frozen sculpture that's half melted off this big box. So I would say that we just let them do what they've done in the past and remove the sculptures, take the boxes and let them be responsible for it.
That's what I agree.
Agreed.
Okay, that would be Saturday because I think they'll put them up. They'll only be on. I don't know when they're planning to leave Saturday.
That's okay.
One night.
Yeah, I mean the sculptures are still so. I mean, you can see them so well.
Yes.
And the boxes, and Margot and I ran into this. We have to shim some of them up, and if we get icy, they can move around. And I think it could be. I think it's a better bet if they're the ones responsible for removing everything.
Okay. All
Just
right.
one observation. Last year, Kyle and I noticed that the sculpture at City Hall was placed down on the heated sidewalk, which wasn't a good return on investment. So we moved it off into the flower bed, I think. But just to keep in mind, if there are any other locations where they're exposed to heat, we should account for that.
That's a good point.
Or sliding snow off of roofs. We've learned a couple of things in the past couple of years about some snow safety, I guess.
Yes, we have. Okay, let's talk about future Ice Fest dates. And I guess that's on the agenda because this year, as you all know from the email, we were off of our normal weekend and chose to have it this weekend because there's nothing else happening. We want people in town. But it's odd the way the calendar fell this year. I think beginning next year, we'll be back to our regular schedule.
So all the language we used last year and the previous year said the second weekend in February. And it just happened that it fell on President's Weekend this year, which we had been trying to avoid having it be, on that weekend and wanted it to be an off weekend. But given the fact that it's not really been a normal year with normal festivities, I think everybody was in agreement to go ahead and keep it on the second.
Yes. Great.
I'm sorry, did I miss it? Where does Martin Luther, what's the holiday?
Martin
When-
Luther's this coming weekend. So that's
Okay,
always
when
in
is it
January.
next year though? And how does that
It's
relate?
back to the normal third weekend next year, so we're fine.
Okay,
Margot, I just noticed before you took it off the screen that under, we have a $200 music sponsor.
Yes. We
Are we
called him.
having,
Yes, wasn't, I thought you talked to Matt at Meyer.
oh,
That's
I'm sorry,
miscellaneous, Jody,
my bad,
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
not music.
my bad.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Next item, Margot, promotions.
promotions, and I'll let Nikki talk about this. This is a really great idea. I think that we might want to look at as a DDA.
So really quick, I kind of texted Margot a couple weeks ago. A friend of mine had messaged me about, I don't remember what city it was happening in, but to help support the restaurants, they were doing a really cool giveaway challenge where you can submit your receipts and win up to a $500 gift card from that city. Again, I don't remember what city it was doing it. And I thought it would be a really great way to support the restaurants, regardless of if they're going to be open on the 16th or if they're not. And we also don't know if they're going to be facing another shutdown later on this winter. So I thought as a DDA, it would be kind of fun to put something together that was an incentive for people to maybe get some extra takeout. And we have in our budget to be able to give a gift card of a substantial size and maybe break it down into tiers. So somebody who spends X amount to X amount, maybe we can draw for a $50 gift card. And X amount to X amount, we can draw and do it in 3 tiers. So there's 3 different levels depending on the amount of money that you've spent within the restaurants. I think there's a big push to support all the restaurants. So I think this would be kind of a fun way to get behind that, since we aren't doing anything like Singo or trivia where we were trying to support the restaurants in that way. And I don't want to necessarily ask the restaurants to give us anything. I want us to be able to support this. The restaurants have already been so stretched, and so have the businesses, and they've already sponsored with the Ice Fest, that I think we have it in our budget to be able to come up with a few $100s to be able to do that. And if we don't, I would be willing to donate some cash to be able to do this. But I think it would be something that would be great to run for maybe until the end of January, if we can get this going and announced within the next couple days.
I'd like to maybe go a little longer. I know that Turkey's just announced they're closing through.
And we could do it into February. I don't think that that's a problem. I mean, I've done a lot of contests with the salon, and I think sometimes they can lose a little bit of momentum if they go much longer than 4 weeks. So, and I understand that some restaurants have closed for a little bit. But yeah, I definitely think that we need to go a little bit further into doing it for 3 or 4 weeks or something. Morning, Lindsay.
I know that, I don't know whether it was Charlevoix or Boyne did something similar, and they used because they do have downtown dollars, they did their gift cards that way, just giving a gift card for the downtown dollars. We would have to, I don't know whether we would specifically say which store, or just offer them a gift card of their preference, their preferred store for $100 or $50 or something like that. But I think and we have to come up with a system and the promotions committee can meet on this to come up with a way of getting the receipt and distributing them. But I think it's great.
It's a great idea.
I would love to see where we just do like a blank gift card, where maybe not to a certain business, but more just towards like just a gift card, just to whether we purchase some Visa gift cards and that's what the reward is. You know, they've already been shopping in town. They know what it's for, or eating in town, I should say, not shopping. So just to keep it simple where it's not too complicated, so we can get it going in a quick manner.
Can we get the promotions committee to gather in the next few days and hammer this out?
Yeah, yeah, for
Perfect.
sure.
Can I just
Great
have a couple,
idea.
can I have a couple comments on this? One, you know, how we've had such a problem with receipts with the grants, you know, do you think people are really going to be hanging on to receipts and then submitting them? So that's one thought. The other thought is, how does this really benefit the shop owners as opposed to the restaurants?
It wasn't for, yeah, definitely not. I wasn't looking at this from a shop owner's perspective. I was looking at it from a dining out perspective. You know,
Yeah, I'm just thinking about what how the shop owners might feel, and should there be like something like this for the shop owners as well?
I mean, I mean, we do a couple different things throughout the year with Singo and Trivia that is specifically designed for restaurants. And being a shop owner downtown, I would want to see our restaurants are the ones that are suffering more than anybody else. There's parts of my business that are closed down that most people don't know about, but in the grand scheme of things, that what has been hurt the most downtown is our restaurants that are downtown. And that in turn is hurting our other shop owners because the people that are employed there can't come to the rest of our places. And I think
yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying that this is just
If we can zoom
could
through
be an
the
observation.
rest, if we can zoom through the rest of our agenda, does the promotions committee have 10 minutes after this meeting to stay on Zoom?
I do.
My day starts at 9:15. I'm sorry, I couldn't
Yeah.
get my client to move, but I am available. I'd be available Saturday. I'd be available possibly at some point tomorrow. I have to take Justin to Traverse City for a medical procedure, but I would figure out a way to make some time, even Friday, to call in. And
Okay,
have a phone
Margo, can you
conference.
take that from here?
Yep, I've got
And
that.
then, wouldn't the easiest way to do this would be to buy a $500 chamber gift certificate? Oh, you don't have any?
We don't do, yeah, I've thought about it and we're thinking about rolling out a city gift certificate kind of a thing, like chamber dollars. We don't currently have it.
Okay,
So I can't help on that front. Maybe in the
Let's let
future.
the
though.
let's let the committee dive into that. I'm sure there's a
Okay.
great
Yeah.
solution. Thanks, Nikki.
Yep.
Great idea.
Thank
I
you.
think that it makes us want to bring up the idea of doing finding possibly a way to do downtown dollars.
We've been
and-
talking
and-
about that.
and something we've talked about in the past. So, okay. The next item on the agenda, Kathy, it is
I know. Right, well, we're talking
it's the-
about it, basically.
priorities, 2021 priorities.
Promoting and assisting the downtown during COVID. That's what we just were basically talking about, an option for that. I don't know, we have been in the forefront with that, at least with our COVID reimbursement grant amount. And are there other things that we can think of besides the one that Nikki just presented us that we can do to help during the next
I think
few
we
months?
should start talking about what this summer is going to look like. It came up at the council meeting that brought it up that things may not be that different this summer. And what can we do to help with outdoor dining and more outdoor opportunities this summer?
Okay,
The one thing I wanted to bring up, and we can talk about it now or under new business, but we're not ready to do a park plan yet, or maybe we will be, but probably not in time for summer. I think another thing that could be a really interesting experiment is to see if we could borrow or rent the tent at Viewlands. It would give us an idea of what a shelter would be like without, committing to it, and it would provide a great amount of shade. And give us maybe, a better idea of a direction when we do get started planning.
I don't know what the tent at Viewlands is.
It's like a big tent for, you know, weddings and events and things like that.
Just
So
a-
it's still, I think they took it down. I think the structure's still up. So there would be some challenges. One would be, you know, can we get some type of footing to make it safe, you know, without the problems we had with the shade sails?
I think it's an awfully large tent. It would have an impact on fireworks if we have those this year, or Taste of Harbor Springs if we have that this year. And just on a side, the yacht club did put up a small tent this past season over grass to offer more protected seating. And the grass, because the sprinkler system was still under it, was destroyed. It was a mud field by the time we ended the season.
Well, and I
It was-
remember when we did Red, White, and Brew, and we put up that big tent. The city got a ton of pushback
I
from
know.
the voters. To say they were not happy is an absolute understatement. And it was for one day that we put up that tent. They were
Nikki, what were
livid.
they unhappy about?
They were livid because the tent was there. They were livid that they couldn't see the park. They were mad because part of the park was unutilized. It was an absolute disaster.
And it would make things difficult for street music as well. You know, if we're going to look at activities for that park, can we do that in a separate committee? I think there's some
Yeah.
great ideas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should be
think so.
downtown enhancement.
We'll
So
schedule.
let's schedule that coming up sometime soon.
So if you talk about that, then please, on the 4th of July, there's at least 10 to 12 tents put up in the green space every year.
I know.
Private people, you
And-
mean?
Yes, and what that does is it hinders the viewing of the fireworks, is what a lot of people have told me.
Yeah.
And they sit out there with kegs of beer and
Well, and that was one thing we had to do for Red, White, and Brew. We had to get that tent completely removed. That was part of our agreement. We had to have the tent completely removed by the time the fireworks went off.
Well, we might want to work with the city and Kyle on whether or not the allowing of tents on public property on days like that is appropriate.
Well, let's talk about it at the committee, just thinking about shade options. Again, that continued to be a problem
I
last
agree.
summer. Yep.
I found that when we were trying to look at things for the festival, what we did is look at every festival in the United States and see what other people were doing. And I think that could be really helpful in this situation too, where we take time, and maybe promotions spears this, that we go look at what other DDAs have been doing in relationship to COVID, and we don't try to recreate the wheel, but just like Nikki did, this is a good idea, the city's doing that, let's look at that, but spend some time brainstorming off meeting to come and make some suggestions back, and look at what other communities are doing.
Good idea.
Good idea.
Okay, moving next into lighting, Margot.
I have lighting here just as, is this something we want to keep and pursue in 2021 as one of as the DDA priorities? These are kind of the suggestions that I put down. The lighting and the parking lot, the downtown, the Main Street lighting, the top.
I think we need to keep that as a priority.
Where does Marina Park fall in there? Because I think that still is a priority too.
we would have no jurisdiction over that.
Yeah, Marina Park that's
Harbor
a
Commission.
city issue and Harbor Commission, right?
We can chime in, but it's not ours. The lighting issue, for those who aren't aware, is there's been a great deal of work spent with outside vendors on getting ideas for changing out the light posts, tops, the globes, as well as perhaps having some kind of outlet at the top for the holiday lighting. I think I agree with Nikki, we need to just keep going forward on that. It's been sitting for a couple of years. Let's at least find out what our options are.
I agree.
That would be
Isn't that
downtown enhancement.
Is
Margot.
that something that the city would consider splitting the cost?
Well, we don't even know what the costs are yet. We got a lot of work to do. Our numbers are several years old, and we might have some different ideas now. But I'd like to at least know what we're talking about, both for us and the council.
I
again,
think we
that's
should
downtown
ask the council. I think we should ask the council if they want us to do that. We don't have the money to do that lighting project. That's a $500,000 project.
And that depends on which one we do.
Right, but again, we don't have the money to do a lighting project to fix it. So, yeah, I think it needs to be done. I think the Harbor Springs lighting looks horrible compared to any other little quaint town, but it needs to be fixed. But I would love to be able to partner with the city to do that. But I don't want to do this work and then come back and say, all right, council, we feel we should redo the lighting. We did all this work. Here you go. Here's a great package. The price tag, $250,000. We have $40,000 to put towards. Without their direct, I don't want to do all this work all the time and not have anything to come to fruition. So can we partner with them or ask them if that's what they want us to do? Kind of like the tree grades. Okay, you guys do the tree grades. You have $100,000, and if we can go back to them and say we can't do it for $100,000, so or this is your option, and they can decide. But that's the one thing I get frustrated with is doing a bunch of work and spending time away from our busy lives, and then we've done the lighting project. Rachel and I did it. Margot did it. I did it twice with Rachel. There's a lot of information about that out there, but it doesn't seem to go anywhere. If the city doesn't want to do it or if they don't want to partner with it, then why are we going to do it? I'm sorry, it's a little pet peeve of mine.
Well, and I think that's a perfect, let's see if the city maybe our absolute first step is seeing if the city is at all interested. And if they're not, then we know that this is one less thing that we even need to think about.
I don't like being the instigator to have people start thinking. Sometimes maybe it's our job just to throw out ideas, and let's take our first step. I mean, like Tim just said, there's a ton of information. They've done a lot of work. Let's see if the city is at all interested. And if they're not, then we don't have to pursue it. And if they are, then we'll do exactly what we've done with the tree grates and go forward and figure out a solution.
I think downtown enhancement could do some preliminary work though, and come up with some visuals to take to city so they even know what they're responding to.
Exactly.
And then not a lot of work. And I don't think anybody would mind doing it on downtown enhancement except Tim maybe, but that was a joke.
Well, we've done it 3 times. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we've done a complete PowerPoint presentation in front of the city, in front of the city hall, and they've done it. They've had 2 presentations of it. You know,
but we have new people on DDA, new people on council. Maybe it's time to just freshen it up and just not spend a lot of time. But
right. So Matt, can I have your input on this? Matt's on this committee. He's the mayor and on city council. And I'd also like to hear Victor chime in on this.
You know, I'm open to, from city council level to seeing a presentation on lighting. I don't recall ever hearing anything before at council level. But I mean, if you already got some information, put together something and bring it to the meeting and we'll talk about it. But it's, it's not going to happen this year. It could be a project for next year.
Right, and you can phase it in and whatnot. And we can refresh the previous ones. It was when Bill Brown was the mayor, there was a presentation from, I have it in my folder here. That one was the Ring of Fire, and then there was another one after that worked in the loft, and he did one as well.
I remember that.
If I may, I would suggest, I've been at those meetings. It has been presented to council. I think there's a lot of information that's already been gathered. Dana beat me to the punch. Perhaps the Downtown Enhancement Committee could just summarize the work that's already been done. But if we're going to ask for something from council, there has to be a specific ask. Not just should we do lighting. If we say, should we do lighting, it's going to go down the same rabbit hole that other projects have gone down. show up with a specific projected ask and then go from there.
I'd like to expand on that from my, Tim, you asked from my perspective. There needs to be a question. If the question is, should the DDA do lighting? I mean, I think everyone's gonna say, yeah, we want to improve the lighting. But if the question is, can the city contribute X amount of money? That's a different question. You know, I mean, we got to look at all the details, and
I'll send it right
so
now.
I think everyone pretty much agrees. I mean, from what I've heard was like, yeah, the lighting is not great downtown. Then people disagree to how important it is compared to other projects and other high figure projects. So if the question is, does council want us to do this? I'm sure council will say yes. If the question is, can council give us $100,000 again to do this next year? You don't know what the answer is going to be there. So, I mean, I think there needs to be specific questions like John said. And I mean, again, this is going to be all taken in context with when it gets presented with all the other projects that the city is contemplating right now. There's a lot on the city's plate, a lot. So you just got to keep that in mind.
Can I ask where this fits in with the master plan and the schedule on there?
So Josh Baker had asked where this fits in with the master plan. I guess are you talking about the DDA, the TIF plan, or are you talking about the city's master plan?
The city's master plan.
So the city's master plan, this is one that we asked this question on our survey, a couple questions about the DDA, and I guess when the planning commission next month, they'll review all those answers from the public input, and we'll see kind of where the public stands on this, just as a guidance post, and where they stand on other issues. I think it may be incorporated as improvements to the downtown in the master plan, like we have a section in our master plan about the downtown, but I don't know where this specific issue will end up compared to other.
Yeah, so I guess I'm wondering if we could potentially wait until any big projects and then use the master plan as a guide rail to see where the DDA could fit in and work in conjunction with the council.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
Good
Thanks,
idea.
Josh.
Okay. Let's hand this to Downtown Enhancement to enhance.
Last. Kathy, that was good.
I like your verbiage.
We have work to do. Okay, parking lot. Yes.
Okay. Is that something the DDA board wants to pursue?
So yet
Yes.
again, on the agenda is, do we put some kind of gate or system in at the parking lot behind the Burley building and lease spots to businesses? And I say yes.
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 So can we also give that to Downtown Enhancement, and let's get some updated prices on that to come back and talk about?
And
I
then
would
I think,
say-
was Margot going to follow up with, or maybe we're not there yet, but how we split revenues based on the fact that city owns property?
We
Thank you.
need to do a spreadsheet of revenue
Yep.
generation and how it's divided, correct?
Great.
I think it's time.
Tim, I know you were going to ask how much people were, and I can't remember which spot they were renting, how much they were paying.
You know, I was going to do that, and that completely fell off my plate. So let me make a note of it, because my parking lot, they sold multiple spots in there, and then, well, ask Josh is on the phone. Josh, do you remember what you pay on the spots? And you only do it in the summertime, right?
Lost him.
But yeah, I can look into that, because people like Josh and a few others rent spots. So I can ask them what they pay. And they pay per, I know they pay per, the ones that rent and didn't buy, they pay per month. And like Josh, he only does it in the summertime when the parking's a little bit more hectic. But I can find out that rate and report back, or I'll bring it to the Downtown Enhancement Committee.
Okay.
Thanks for reminding me.
And,
Oh.
okay,
All right. Director update.
so just a couple things. I am now working with moving forward with Benchmark on the, rebidding the tree grate project. Joe and he is now working in from Florida, so we are working remotely to get that coordinated.
Timing? When might it go out?
I don't know that yet from him, so we need
Okay.
to talk about that, and then I'll have an update for that. But that's
Okay.
we're now starting. At least I think we feel comfortable that that's the direction the city has given on that. TIF reporting. It's Victor let me know that Nick and I need to do the report. This isn't something I was part of in the past, and I don't know if anybody on the board was part of it as well when Rachel did that. So Nick and I know we're going to be working on that over the next couple months. I think it is due in March.
Does it then go to the county and the college and the cemetery, or whoever the other one was?
I'm sorry, what?
What's the purpose? Does it go to the county and
No, it goes to the
college?
state. It goes to the state. Yep.
Mhm.
So
You have to do it to get the money and to be in compliance.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want, I just talked to Rachel yesterday. I mean, we could, I wouldn't be opposed to sitting on that meeting and even setting up a conference call with Rachel if you want
Right.
to pick her brain, because she's the one that did it in the past.
And
Okay.
we've got those reports.
Thank you.
She worked with Nick
Yeah.
on those, so we should have those.
And
Great.
the last thing is just the COVID grant. We've given out $3,195, and we have a remaining $1,805 left. It's a total of 16 grants. At this point, I would say give the last 16 people another $100 because nobody else is.
Good idea.
I mean,
That makes it easy.
I'll take more.
Do they need to submit receipts for this?
a lot of them gave me receipts that were over
Over.
the
Okay.
200, but I can go back. There's a couple and I can reach out to them and see if they want to add more to it. But most everyone gave me for more than $200.
Okay.
Good.
Other business, old business. I do have some kind of other and old combined. We need to talk about the annual raise for Margot. She completed her 1 year with us. And Tim and I have talked about this as well. And I've also spoken with Nick and Victor, and we would recommend a 3% raise like the other city employees. Any conversation of that?
Do we need
I
a
just make a
motion?
motion. Yeah,
Yes, we do.
I'll make a
make-
motion to
I'll
give.
second.
All in favor?
Well,
Aye.
Aye.
Don't spend it all in one place, but do
thank you,
spend it
everyone.
downtown.
Thank you.
Margot, are you increasing hours? There was some discussion about that.
We did increase my hours to account for 25 hours instead of 20 hours a week. And it fluctuates. Some weeks it's like Ice Fest, it's more like 40 hours, and some weeks it's 15.
Right.
But we
And
did at least
Kathy and
account for that in the budget.
And Kathy and I talked, we're going to put together a review for Margot and then bring Margot in and do a review like you should with every employee. So
Largely
we've
what
already talked about it.
we'd have and what we'd like to know, Margaret, was what we can do to help. We want to make sure you've got what you need.
Yes,
So we'll
we are
set that
very
up
happy
next
with your, happy with your work. You've done a great job.
I'll second that.
Okay, public comment.
Can I say one more thing on other old business? And I hate to keep coming back to this, but last year Marina Park was such a big priority, and I had thought we had said that we would be on a committee with Parks and Rec and with the Harbor Commission, and somebody's got to spearhead it. I don't see any reason why we couldn't spearhead it. This is
It's
such an
out of our
integral part of the
jurisdiction.
downtown area. I have the energy to do it. I think there's other people on the DDA that would be really interested in being involved. And then we find, some people from Harbor Commission, maybe people from council.
Isn't Harbor Commission already doing this?
No. I
I
thought
think
that
the
they
last
had,
Harbor
I
Commission,
thought they
said,
didn't have too much interest in talking about the park.
The
And
Harbor
I thought
Commission,
Victor at a council meeting that it had been said that, I don't know if you'd say green light, but that the Harbor Commission now has clear direction that they're going to move forward with the new building and the new location. And that as long as we stay out of that area, that we can start talking about what to do with the park, rather than just like kick it down the road for another 6 months or a year.
I mean, I
There was
think,
so much negative, opinions that came out last year about it. I just think somebody's got to do something about it rather than saying, oh, well, we're not involved or whatever. And I think this could be something that we could take a leadership role in.
there's also the Parks and Rec Department as well. I mean, they're gonna have to be involved because it's under
Yep,
their,
absolutely, yeah.
you know.
They'd be on a committee.
I would like Parks and Recs to take the lead and we to be a part of it.
Okay. Well, how about if I talk to Denny and see if we can't at least get some initial discussion going on it?
I like that idea.
Month after month after month, nothing's done. And
Let's do that.
okay.
And I can tell you, being in the city management here, that Denny has a lot on his plate right now with the land acquisition grant. So I don't think
Right.
I don't think he has enough right now to initiate a whole new committee for the Parks Committee until probably the springtime. So it's not going to be right away. There's a lot going
Good
on
enough,
our
but
side.
let's at least get it on the radar.
Great. Thank you, Dana, for that.
Yep.
Okay, other comments before we adjourn for the month of January?
I have one thing. And this is probably for Victor and for Kyle, who I think we lost. No, Kyle's there. The police doesn't have any jurisdiction over restaurants that are not complying with COVID mandates, do they?
What we did, reference to the complaint that we received, we did an investigation and I forwarded on to Health Department. I have a contact person who we've been working with on some other complaints. And so that we did a report on it and that report was forwarded on to them and they are currently working on it.
So Jody, to answer your question in a way Kyle didn't, was that Kyle's not going to give you a ticket. The health department is going to one that's going to slap the fine on you. If the Harbor Springs Police is not going to slap a fine on whoever violates, right, Kyle?
That's correct.
Are we can I ask which complaint we're referring to?
Officer Timmons took a call of a.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
And we also, the Health Department and LC's Liquor Control Commission had contacted us about another New Year's Eve party at a different restaurant that was sort of kiboshed before it happened. And so they said they weren't going to have one, and Liquor Control Commission made contact with it, but we also kept an eye on that one as well.
Good.
That answer your question?
Yes. If you look at the COVID mandates for outdoor dining and pods / tents, state road provisions is breaking all the rules with their pods. You're supposed to have at least 2 sides open. And all of their pods have 4 sides covered in the roof.
How does this relate to igloos? Like I'm thinking about small batch downtown.
For some ungodly reason, igloos are okay. They're in the okay column, but
Wow.
That doesn't make sense at all. It seems like state roads are much safer than.
I know, but state road provisions, they're building 2 more. And I didn't know if somebody wanted to stop them before they build 2 more, but I've made a complaint to the health department on them. Their pods, you have to have openings. And that's why I considered putting flaps on my deck all around. But I already have a roof. And so you have to have 2 sides that are open on a pod or a tent, if you will, or a barn or whatever it is you want to use, but
Well, maybe that's what they're planning to do. And Jody, I would love it if you would do that. Couldn't you just leave two sides open? I think that would be awesome.
Well, state
I already
roads also-
have two sides open. And if you came in there when the wind is kicking in, you're not gonna want to sit outside. I mean,
So
the ones-
Mike did say he met with the health department out there on those pods, and then they compared them to the igloos that, you know, like Petoskey Brewing has, the not paper station, but downtown Petoskey. They have them at
Backlot.
one of the Backlot, and there's another restaurant. What's the one around the corner from Chandler? They have them too. So I mean, to me, what he's doing and those igloos are exactly the same. I don't see a difference. They both have heaters in them, and they're both closed all over. I've had you say there's two sides. Somebody else told me you can only have one side. The health department came out to Mike's location at State Road, looked at all of them, and they did not give him a citation. So I mean, I'd love to know the real rules, because I asked Jimmy out at Pond Hill Farm, and he's like, yeah, you can't have, you can only have one side, is what Jimmy said. So I don't know what the rules are. I don't know if anybody does, but I'm sure somebody does. But I'd love to know. But yeah, I'd love for you to put some igloos out there so I can. To me, what's the difference between the igloo and the pod? I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I know that I was down in St. John's this weekend and got some takeout for my mother-in-law, and one of the restaurants down there had an outdoor patio just like you do, Jody, and they enclosed it with plastic and 2x4s, and the health department approved it. I was amazed.
Wow.
There was 30 people sitting in there. All the health department told them was they had to have circulation from above it, so they left like a 2-foot gap above it because they have a roof just like you do. And basically the health department told them that they were, but I think every health department's going to interpret it a different way. I was amazed. There was 30 people in there, just like sitting inside the restaurant, but they had that gap above, and the health department said that's all they needed.
Well,
And Mike has those windows that you roll up, and then you get ventilation that way. I think that's what the health department said.
I think it's
Okay.
something that we should discuss in the Downtown Enhancement Committee.
Yeah,
even
let's just
as
talk
far
about it.
as outdoor dining spaces, even in the winter time.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that. And in the good news category, Whitmer yesterday elevated us over 65 people to get a vaccine soon. So,
Yay.
Wait, you're over 65?
uh-huh. And Marty gets his from the VA, so hopefully we're set.
All right.
Does that mean I have to wait 30 years before I get my vaccine?
Yes, you have to wait,
Exactly.
or you have to go into the armed service.
Yeah, Josh.
All right, I
Okay.
have a client coming in, so I have to go, everybody.
And I think we have finished. Thank you all for this great conversation this morning. We've got some committee work to do, and we'll see you all soon.
Thank you.
See you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yep, bye-bye.